Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment has reacted to the 14-day ultimatum given to the federal government to address the demands of the Nigerian Labour Congress and its counterpart, the Trade Union Congress, which borders on workers' welfare. Minister of Labour and Employment, Mr. Nkeruka Oyenjocha, told journalists today at the news conference in Abuja that the federal government has already begun the implementation of the agreement it had with the workers. The minister also confirmed reaching out to the labor unions for further dialogue to prevent the impending work strike. Take a listen to her.
The government is assuring Nigerians of its continued commitment to addressing labor concerns and fulfilling all agreements as we move forward together. The government would also like to assure the organized labor of its commitment to maintaining open and constructive communication with them to foster positive labor relations and guarantee a supportive working environment for all workers. For example, the 35,000 Naira wage award is currently being implemented. And of course, we've reached out and we've gotten a date that will meet them, because even if they are saying different things, it's us to show them proof that this is what they have not seen that we've done. So we are going to be on that same table, under the same roof, to discuss amongst ourselves and then tell them the ones we've done, assuming they don't know, and then tell them the ones that are yet pending, and of course it's work in progress.
All right. At some point on the program, we'll be taking you to Edo State to look at the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party. I have a frontline aspirant in the race with me. But let's talk about this labor matter. I'm being joined tonight by the president of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Festus Osifo, who joins us live from Owerri, the capital of Imo State. Thank you so much, Comrade, for joining us tonight.
Yeah, Ashil, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Nigerians, and good evening, viewers.
All right, you heard what the minister said. It appears that there is a communication gap, because she is saying that they're already talking to your union, the unions, TUC and Labour Congress. They have already started implementation. Is that the case?
Thank you so much, Shehu. If you could recall, the communique that we are talking about was signed sometime in October. I think precisely it should be October 2nd. So on that particular day, we sat down with government. We looked at what could be done in the immediate to assuage the difficulties that Nigerians are passing through, most especially the Nigerian workers. If you look at that communique, we talked about the issues of CNG buses that they said sometime in November that the buses will be here. If you look at the communique, we talked about wage award. And that particular wage award, they said that they will start implementation from September. In that same communique, you will see what is going to be done to the SMEs, the funds that will be released and other. I mean, it is quite lengthy. If you go through that communication as we speak today, the easiest of them all to implement is even the issues of wage award of 35,000 Naira. If you remember clearly, the first amount of, the first 35,000 Naira was paid sometime in November. So it was paid. So when they paid that of November, we counted it that, okay, that is for September. So 1 month was paid. Then after then, nothing was done. We did everything possible to reach out to government. We did everything possible. We had meetings with all respective stakeholders, trying to make them understand that you cannot just sign an agreement with labor just to assuage our feelings and you go to bed and sleep. So we had several meetings with them. They told us that they were having some constraints here and there, and that this is going to be fixed. That before the end of the year, that they will get it fixed. But we got to December, nothing was done. In fact, most federal parastatals, most federal civil servants did not even receive December salary as of December. How much more the 35,000 wage award? So we got to January. We continuously engaged them. The Honorable Minister of State for Labor paid a courtesy visit to the NLC Secretariat and also to the TUC Secretariat sometime in January. Quite commendable. Then in the meeting, we also reminded her Yeah, the issue of this wage award, only 1 month has been paid since last year. So at the end of January, they pay some of the agencies and some civil servants additional 1 month. That means from October, September, October, November, December, January. This is 5 months. Only 2 months has been paid to some people, but in some cases, just 1 month has been paid. So it is not actually issues about communication, but it's about issues of reality. How Nigerian workers are being battered today, how Nigerian workers are suffering today, and government who told us. I remember the meeting that myself and the president of NLC had with the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief. There was something he told us. He said the era of broken promise is over. That the era where you sign communique and communique will not be implemented is over. He repeated that times without numbers in our meetings. We also told him that, Mr. President, we are going to hold you accountable whenever you sign any agreement with us and you fail to implement. And I think that 5 months is sufficient for them to have implemented what they have signed. The least of them all is the wage award. It's not being implemented. And so if you look at the very last paragraph in that agreement, we said that both parties agreed that we want to take that communique to court and notarize it for it to become a consent judgment. That is also a very simple thing to do. But maybe because they knew that they weren't going to implement, they did not follow that through. So there are some quick wins in that document that have never been implemented.
Let's get it out. Let's put out some facts here. On the communique, there are 15 items. So when you had the meeting, it was in October. So no, that agreement came to light. That when you start with the federal government. So let's get it clearly. You're saying out of all of these 15 items, none has been 100% accomplished.
Yes, we will say none. The only one, probably, they could say the inauguration of the minimum wage committee, because it was also there. But if you also look at that agreement, there was a timeline to inaugurate the minimum wage committee. But the minimum wage committee was just inaugurated towards the end of January. So we could say that, okay, the minimum wage committee has been implemented. But again, it's also a long road for us to reach conclusions as regarding the minimum wage. But I can't really pinpoint one particular item there. Is it the CNG buses? Is it the issues of NUROTW? Is it the complete closeout of the issues that are relating to Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RITIAN? Is it the issue of 35,000 naira? Is it the CNG buses that ought to have been here by now, the dual buses that use both CNG and PMS? So we cannot just pinpoint what clearly government has done satisfactorily. For us in TUC, we have said it over and over again. We don't just sign an agreement and we go to bed and sleep. And we have worked with our counterparts in NLC and we have sufficiently engaged government. We have tried to reach out to them. Okay, on this, where are we? The buses, are you importing them? Where are they currently? How many of these buses do you want to get from Innocent Motors? Because as of today, we have paucity of effects. How many of them are they assembling locally? The more we ask questions, the more nobody is even providing any clarification or any answer. So for us, we felt that,
comrade, do you have a feeling or a sense that maybe the federal government is not serious with these commitments? Is that what you feel?
Yes, as of today, we feel that the handler, that they are not serious with us. We feel that they are not serious in implementing what they have signed with us. We strongly feel that is the case. Maybe the information is not reaching Mr. President, we don't know, but for us, federal government is federal government. When we speak with the minister, we think that the minister should take the information to the government. For example, early January, when we had a meeting with Minister of State Labor, Honorable Minister of State Labor, we told her clearly that if these things are not done in the next few weeks, that it will become a national issue once again. And And we felt that she should take such information to Mr. President. Because we have met with ministers, we have met with head of parastatals and head of agencies and try to make them understand what the challenges are with that communique, the areas and actions that will be implemented, that if this is not done, that we are going to go back to the trenches. It's unfortunate that an administration that just came May 29th that promised us that whenever they start communicating with us that they are going to implement, that promised us that the era of broken promises are over, that we have found ourselves at this point once again is most unfortunate.
Now, so let me take one, because in all of this, if there is a showdown between Labour and the federal government, again, the average Nigerian person will suffer for it. Yeah, I mean, there's hardship in the land. The situation is biting so hard, and no one wants a situation where things will be more complicated in the country. I look at item 9 on the 15-item agenda, a communique signed with the federal government, and it says that the federal government will increase its initiatives on subsidized distribution of fertilizers to farmers across the country. One will imagine that because of the price of commodities and food items and the shortage of food, that should get the attention of anyone who was involved or who are involved in this communique. Can you tell us whether that has been worked upon, or what do you know about that? Because that would have helped us in food production.
Yes, clearly, so when we put this in place, those were some of the things that we were looking at, because we know that an average Nigerian worker, we know that an average Nigerian, one of the things you spend your hard-earned money on is actually food, and the government must do something so fast. We've had a lot of rhetoric. So we have declared state of emergency on food security. We have had a lot of meetings, lot of summits on issues like this. Nigerians are tired of meetings. Nigerians are tired of summits. Nigerians are tired of rhetoric. Today, the cost of items in the market has skyrocketed, has gone over the roof. And this was one of the things that we saw that made us to include that item number 9 in the community. But as we speak, there is no clear-cut solution to that. They have not told us with empirical evidence on how they have intended to implement that. They have not shown us, local government and local government, these are the quantities of fertilizers that we have taken to them. State by state, these are the quantities that have gotten to the state. They have not shown us any empirical evidence. All we hear are soundbites. All we hear are meetings on food security. All we hear, Nigerians are clearly tired of it. What we want is result. We are tired of effort. So all we are hearing is we are making effort. We are making effort. As a father, if you send your child to school and your child is telling you that, Daddy, I'm making effort every now and then, but at the end of the day, the result comes out and that child is scoring 29/30. There's a problem. Today, our inflation is going above the roof. Today, farmers cannot even go to farm because of the state of insecurity in the nation. Today, you look at the exchange rate, it has gone bizarre. What are we truly saying? So all we want the federal government to do is to respect what we have in the community. And even after that communique was signed, a lot of issues has also come to the fore. When we signed that communication, what was the exchange rate as at then? When we signed that communication, what was the rate of inflation as at then? But today, things are even going much more south. It means that even if that communique is implemented today, there will be a lot of gaps that are still there. But we want them, first of all, get that implemented. Because our members, they have been asking us, that comrades, that we signed a communique with them October 2nd. It's not been implemented. And we want to start discussing minimum wage. What faith are we going to have that this minimum wage is also going to be implemented? So these are the questions that our members are asking us day in, day out. So government must act because people are truly suffering.
There is another item that got my attention, which one we think that shouldn't be a difficult one to achieve. Item 12. It is a joint visitation will be made to the refineries to ascertain their rehabilitation status. Have you been able to visit with the federal government to the refineries? Because, I mean, we understand that will also ensure that local production of fuel to help bring down or curtail the rise in the price of petrol.
Yes, sure, again, that has not also been done. That has not also been done. We have not been able to make that joint visitation to the refineries, because our expectation as at then was that we're supposed to visit Port Harcourt refinery, then also we would have also visited Warri refinery. But that has not been done as of today. No, it has not been done.
Now, so it looks like a stalemate, because if the federal government says, oh, we are doing some things, but Labour seems not to be aware because they are implementing. Do you agree with that statement? That maybe you are not just apprised of what the federal government is doing in the implementation side of things?
So there is nothing to be aware of. If you look at 35,000 naira will be paid on a monthly basis to federal workers. As of today, has that money been paid? So federal government cannot tell us that they are doing something that we are not aware of. Because if as of today, if we are saying that you are paid 2 months in some instance, and in some other instances, you've only paid 1 month, and government is now telling us that no, that they are paid 5 months. That is different. So you cannot pay salary that we will not know. We have several affiliates that are in the civil service that will give us the information. In TUC, for example, Association of Senior Civil Servants, SADOM, they are affiliates in government-owned agencies and civil service. From the information they last gave to me, that some of the agencies have received 2 months, but a lot of other agencies have received 1 month. So they cannot tell us that they are doing something maybe we are not aware. That is far, far, far from it. So the issues of the fertilizer that we have spoken about, we have asked them, we have challenged them, we have asked, where are the empirical evidence? There is nothing there. Then if you also look at the money to be distributed to the poorest of the poor and also the retirees, that is also part of the community. So if you remember, one of those times last year when I appeared in your program, I told you and I told Nigerians that we are scared about the issue of the social register, that we are scared in what is happening in the humanitarian agency. Today, a poverty alleviation ministry. Today, we have been proven right. So when we speak as Labour, we talk from the benefit of hindsight. We told them in that meeting that what is going on there, that people are just distributing funds, that there is no accountability, that if you are sending money to people, that there must be trace. It's not sharing money, giving people cash here and there. That error should be done away with. They told us that they would do away with that error. But you heard what happened in the Beta Edu's gate about how they were about to send money to an individual account and go to respective states and give them money. There is no country in the 21st century that mean well. There is no country that is teaching transparency in the 21st century that will still be sharing cash to people. That was also in the communique, but as of today, there is nothing that is done.
Yeah.
So, not an issue of communication.
Right.
It is not the fact that we are not on the same page. No, the issues are very clear. The communique has not been implemented.
Let's close the conversation in this manner. And for the sake of the Nigerian people, who needs that both parties should come clean with the Nigerian people, because the suffering is much. And going on strike or shutting down the nation by industrial action will really cause more problem for the Nigerian, the polity and the nation at large. Just briefly, if you can tell us, is there anything, because the 14 days that you have given the federal government, if they have not done anything in the last 4 or 5 months, according to the Labour, what can they do in 14 days? Is there anything that they can do that can help the situation? Just maybe.
Yes.
Just maybe.
Yes, Shehu, we are still in February. So we have been invited to a meeting, just as the Honorable Minister said by Monday. We have gotten the circular for the meeting invite. We will attend the meeting. So when we get there, if to pay 35,000 naira is meager. let the government, for example, tell us the backlog, the backlog of 3 months, that they are going to pay the money, in the next 1 week. This can be done. So there are some low-hanging fruits that must be done. So if they have things that they feel that they have been doing that we are not aware, those things, they should bring them forth with evidence. So we are going to attend any of the meetings they will invite us with an open mind. For us in Labour, we are not happy to wake up and say we want to go on strike. It takes a lot of energy to even do that. But for us, we need the ultimatum that we have given, but government should come clean. The ones that they think that, or what they said that they have started doing, they should bring evidence. The one that they have not done, should 14 days is sufficient for the backlog of the 35,000 naira to be cleared. We see that as a low-hanging fruit. That should be done. Then for the buses, the CNG buses, they should tell us where it is currently. The ones that they are assembling in Nigeria, they should tell us where are we on that. The ones that they are importing, where are we on that? So for us, we are not the fact that we have given notice, if we are sufficiently convinced and if some actions are carried out within the next 14 days, the various organs will meet and review the situation on where exactly we are. But government must come clean. Government must identify with the Nigerian workers and the Nigerian masses. The suffering is excruciating, the suffering is real. People are dying of hunger on a daily basis. The time to act, so it's now.
Thank you so much indeed. That's a good place to hang it. Thank you so much indeed, Comrade Festus Osifo, the President of the Trade Union Congress. Things are bad as it is. No one wants anything to escalate further. We just are hoping that the federal government will do its bit. And thank you, Labour, for putting the pressure and ensuring on the behalf of the Nigerian workers, the Nigerian people, they are being served by their own government and good is being done on their behalf. Thank you so much indeed for your time, Comrade.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you.